Rey Mysterio is no doubt one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. The impact that Rey Mysterio had on a generation of wrestling fans is something that will never ever be replicated. 20 years ago this month, back in July of 2002, Rey Mysterio made his WWE debut and the man instantly became an icon. Yo, it was just a wild time because growing up, every single person I knew was a Rey Mysterio fan. I never knew anyone who was a Rey Mysterio hater. It was him, it was Jeff Hardy, and Eddie Guerrero, the guys that everyone just loved. Nah man, Rey Mysterio was just that guy. He had it all. Just look at him. He had the mask, and yo, trust me, there are few things in wrestling more iconic than Rey Mysterio's mask. Every single week he would come out with a new mask, a new attire, every color you could possibly imagine. He had costumes inspired by Spider-Man or the Flash, and he just looked so damn cool. The tattoos all over his body, including the amazing Mexican tattoo on his torso, you know, just in case you forget, the funky contact lenses. And yo, you already know, every single kid growing up back then, at one point or not in their Google search history, they had Rey Mysterio without mask in there. I guarantee it. Yo, this was like a rite of passage. If you were a wrestling fan in the 2000s, at one point you search this up on Google, or you know what, you're not a real fan. I'm sorry, you're not. This was like the biggest mystery. We were too young to watch WCW, so we never saw him without a mask, you know, on television. So for us, we had to hunt down photos or videos of him, and it was like an Olympic sport of finding Rey Mysterio without a mask. I remember the first time I saw the video of him unmasking in 2006, and I was just sitting there so shook. It was like this 10-second video from WCW, and I for some reason found this. I watched it and I was like, yo, oh my god, I found this. I thought I was like the only guy who had ever seen this, so I just remember going to school the next day and just telling everyone, yo, I found a video of Rey Mysterio without his mask. There were so many things to love about Rey Mysterio, especially when you were a kid, but what I used to love the most about Mysterio was definitely the classic entrance. When his music would hit, whether it's the classic Who's That Jumping Out the Sky or even the Booyaka 619, the music would hit, the lights would go out, and he would just pop out of the stage or this fist, and yo, that was a top tier wrestling entrance. He was like a real life superhero. Even though he was 5'4" and 170 pounds, he was legitimately a superhero because he would go into the ring and just do the most wild random moves we had ever seen in a ring, and he would pull them off. See yo, these days everyone and their mom can do a suicide dive or a flip and all that stuff, but back then Rey Mysterio was just different, and honestly he still is, because I haven't seen a luchador or a high flyer that can touch a prime Rey Mysterio. Even though by the 2000s he wasn't as athletic as his WCW days, which was his true prime when it came to doing his moves, he was still pulling out the craziest shit. The man had a 619 as his finisher, and let's be real, everyone wanted to do this move as a kid, but that wasn't happening. But that's what made it even cooler, is because we couldn't do 95% of the moves that Rey Mysterio was doing. That doesn't mean we didn't try though. It's hard to explain to someone who wasn't there how big and popular Rey Mysterio truly was, especially from 05 to 07. Even people who didn't watch wrestling, if they saw the mask, they knew who Rey Mysterio was. Even when I used to watch SmackDown and my mom was sitting by, she didn't really care about many wrestlers, she would still watch, but no doubt her favorite was Rey Mysterio. And there is a high likelihood that your mom's favorite wrestler was also Rey Mysterio. Everyone loved him, and I also can't even imagine the impact he had on Hispanics, right, and Mexicans, seeing the representation, seeing Rey Mysterio just being the man. But yeah, yo, back then so many kids would have Rey Mysterio t-shirts and wear them to school. Everyone had a Rey Mysterio figure, but he had so many different figures that no one had the same two figures. This was actually the figure that I had. If you remember which one you had, leave in the comments below because I am curious. But yeah, and of course everyone wanted the Rey Mysterio mask. I am so jealous of the kids who got to dress up as Rey Mysterio for Halloween. I wanted to do that so bad every year, but I couldn't get the mask. I honestly believe Rey Mysterio deserves so much better. He deserves so many more title runs with the belt. He deserves so many more dream matches and more spotlight. But regardless, I'm still happy that I grew up with him, and he was still awesome. Like I said before, Rey Mysterio is just someone who was and is universally loved in wrestling, and he deserves it. And when I think of Rey Mysterio memories from when I was growing up, there's one moment that I think of the most, and I will never ever forget it. I will never forget watching SmackDown in September of 2007. It was like 2 days after my birthday. I had a birthday party that day. It was such a fun and happy day, but the night was over, the party was over, and now it was time for me and my family to just chill. I was gonna watch SmackDown. It was gonna be such a great night, and I was pretty excited for this night because it was gonna be Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero in an I Quit match. And I remember it being this awesome match, and Rey got the win after just straight up tweaking with the chair on Chavo. So Rey Mysterio won the match, and I was happy. Everyone was happy. It was time to go to sleep. What a great day it was. You know, I thought SmackDown was over, but nah. Nah. SmackDown wasn't over just yet because it was time for me and every other kid watching at that point to get traumatized. With like 5 minutes left until the end of the show, the Great Khali's music hit and he walked out. He was the World Heavyweight Champion during this time, sadly, and he walks out and it's like, oh man, he's gonna beat up poor Rey Mysterio. Why does he keep doing this? Because at this point, Rey would get his ass beat by Khali like every week. I'm like, all right, here we go again. But whatever, it's fine. It's Rey Mysterio. He gets beat up, he gets knocked down, but he gets back up again. But not this time. Yo, Great Khali went in there and he didn't just beat up Rey Mysterio. No, he grabbed Rey Mysterio and just started squeezing his head with both of his hands. He was out here picking him up just by his head, tossing him around. Yo, Khali just pulled up and started squeezing his head so hard. He just tossed him around and blood was pouring out of Rey Mysterio's mouth. And I swear to God, I thought Rey Mysterio died. I was like, yo, how could he not be dead? Blood was just leaking out. I thought his brain got crushed and Khali was just like, you know, throwing him around, tossing him, crushing him like a watermelon. I was so sad. I was so close to tears. I was speechless. My mom was shook. Everyone was shook. And I'm just here like, great, Rey Mysterio is about to die on my birthday. Nah, man, it was traumatizing. Definitely when we went to school on Monday, that was what everyone was talking about. And I know to this day, there are so many comments on that video. There's so many tweets about it that it's a moment that's ingrained in so many people's brains. But the reason they care so much and the reason they remember is because it was Rey Mysterio. It could have been any other idiot getting clapped. It could have been John Cena, Randy, or it could have been anyone. Batista. It would have been like, cool, whatever. We forgot about it. But because it was Rey Mysterio, that's why it hurt so much. That's why we still remember it. And that's why we were traumatized as kids. What a wild memory. Just casually getting PTSD from watching one of my favorite wrestlers get his head crushed in like a watermelon. Rey was just that guy, even in the video games. Here Comes the Pain was the first WWE game to have Rey Mysterio in, and he instantly became my favorite wrestler to play with. He always had these special animations, even the way he would just stand there and then his crazy moveset, just doing the 619 and seeing Rey Mysterio fly and the other guy get clapped and sent back to Narnia. It was awesome. Rey Mysterio, no doubt, from like Here Comes the Pain to SVR07 was a top 5 character to play with in the video games. Man, I love Rey Mysterio. He is one of the greatest of all time. He's definitely one of the main guys who made our childhood so special as wrestling fans. There are so many memories of just being a kid and playing with Mysterio action figures or using him in the video game, watching his matches, trying to recreate his moveset and do the entrances. Rey Mysterio was just that guy, and I was so happy to see him on the cover of WWE 2K22 and get the showcase, even though it should have been way better. And to this day, every time his music hits and I see him wrestle, it just brings a smile to my face because it's Rey Mysterio. And it's cool seeing him do his thing to this day, and as rough as Dominic can be in the ring sometimes, yo, you can't be mad at Rey and Little Slim Shady all grown up wrestling together. And yo, you gotta respect the fact that Rey Mysterio took Eddie Guerrero's son under his wing and made him a wrestler. His father would be proud. But yeah, I just wanted to give Rey some flowers. I know he's loved and all, but I always felt like people forgot about Rey. Maybe it's because he's still going and he hasn't fully retired yet, but I always felt like people forgot just how amazing, how popular, how much of an impact this little 5'4" man had on millions of people back in the day. We always hear about the Cenas and the Ortons and the Edges, and I'm guilty of it too, right? Because I make the videos, but Rey deserves all the flowers, all the love, all the credit, all the respect, because Rey Mysterio was just that guy. And for that, I wanted to make this video. So in the comments down below, share your favorite memories of Rey Mysterio, any cool action figures you owned, any cool memories you have. I don't know, the time you tried doing a 619 on your sibling and you broke his nose. I don't know, anything. It's your boy Pav, aka Wrestling Gifts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shout out to Rey Mysterio, and to end it off, I just want to say Rey Mysterio, top 5 all time. I don't care. Don't at me. Later, guys.